right. Get it right. Get it right. Bye. Get it right. Does that look right? Oh. Yeah, I'm live. Someone's here. Somebody's here. 4 people are here, yes. Okay, the usual question. How is the sound? How is the vision? How's my new haircut? That's better. Double dead cat, okay? Cats are on the menu tonight, by the way. John Key, nice to hear from you. Stephen Dillon, Pal555. Dixie Normus, yeah, nice comment, thank you. Stephen Smart, good evening, Eddie, how are you? Well, how am I? Not really very good right now, I'm afraid. Tucson John, hello from Tucson. Sound and video good. Okay, great to hear from you, mate. Audio and video, oh, that's good. I'm using Wi-Fi right now rather than data because I think I was running short of data on this phone. The 75 people here. Nino Vera, what's the matter, Eddie? Everything's the matter. Is Thailand open on the 1st? Is this true? Wait, first of what? August, September? Paul Whitman, give me some good news. Well, I don't know. Is there any good news around right now? Is there any good news? The only good news that I have is that I'm still alive. I've still got food. I'm still earning a little bit of money. I've just had a nice, rather bloating Chinese curry, special curry with chips, because I don't trust the rice. I've had bad experiences with that in the past. Okay, so Double Dead Cat, 9th November, Paul Mullen, 9th November earliest. Yeah, okay, John Key, thank you. Okay, listen, there's 119 people watching now. It's Wednesday night. There's not many other people doing live streams right now. I've got a little bit of cold. I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know. It's not. You know what you think it is. It's not that dreaded illness. Listen. I've got a terrible confession. Before I do anything, right? Before I say anything, I've got a terrible confession to make. A dreadful confession. I've only got a little one. I really, really wish that I had a big one. I really want to have a big one. But I've had to settle for a little one. Okay? I'm going to show you my little one. It's right here. This little bottle of Scouser brandy. Jules Claron. Yes? There's something uncool about getting 35cl bottles, especially like they're not very economical, you know. This one came in at £8.75. The bigger 70cl bottles, I can get them for 14 quid, which is better value. But the fact is, I'm convinced there's someone out there who was buying up the big ones. I mean, I'm always wanting a big one, but I've got to settle for this little Jules Claron. And in case anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, this is my favourite bargain brandy. Jules Claron, finest French brandy, made in Liverpool. Okay, it's got on the label here. It's bottled in Halewood International in Liverpool. Yes, okay, genuine Scouser brandy. Okay, enough of that anyway. Enough of that. It's only little. You know what they say. Size doesn't matter. Come on, let's get the cheers. Cheers. Nice Scouser brandy. Okay. What are we going to talk about? Well, never mind the talking. Let's do the drinking first. Oh, that's bloody good. That is bloody good. Oh, lovely stuff. About an hour ago, I had that Chinese takeaway. It was a special curry with chips. It was bloody good, but it bloated me a little bit. I'm losing a little bit of weight now. when I eat a bigger meal, it sort of bloats me. But this is going down well. Okay. It's Wednesday night. Okay. It's Wednesday night. We're coming to the end of July. And as many of you will know, I've booked a flight to Bangkok for the beginning of November. That's just over 3 months away. You know, it's barely 3 months away. Now, when I booked that flight, it was about 3 weeks away. I booked it 4 months in advance, and almost a month is gone now. And that seemed to me, 4 months, 3 months, seemed like a significant time into the future. And it seemed like plenty of time for things to sort themselves out. Some of the bars are beginning to open in Thailand. I've seen videos, as many of you guys will have done. You know, I'm seeing people who are out in Pattaya enjoying themselves. Good for them. You know, good for them. I'm quite envious, you know, but also we're hearing that those bars are going to suffer because there's no tourists there. There wouldn't be many tourists anyway this time of year, but this is quite exceptional. You know, there's no real international flights. So for me personally, my flight is just over 3 months away. And it's still plenty of time for things to get better. But right now, at this moment in time, things are not really looking better. They're not really looking better. You know, a lot can happen in 3 months, but not necessarily for the better. It can happen for the worst. We're not out of the woods yet. This week, you know, I've watched the news, and there's quite a lot of doom and gloom going on right now, really, about this situation, this current COVID situation. A lot of doom and gloom. There are things happening, and the thinking is, the word on the street now is that in the UK we're going to have a second wave of it. If we get a second wave, it'll be the final nail in the coffin for us who want to go abroad. I mean, first thing, you know, I've got to mention is that last weekend, people in Britain will know this, but in America you may not know this. A lot of British people, the lockdown has been eased an awful lot, and British people this time of year are going to their traditional favourite. They're taking their families to Spain, or they were taking them to Spain. Last weekend, it was announced very, very quickly on the news that Britain is forcing people into quarantine, 2 weeks self-isolation when they return from Spain. If you was to return home before midnight last Saturday, you would be okay. But as soon as midnight came on Saturday, you'll be forced to go into 2 weeks isolation. We have got more cases of the COVID here in the UK than Spain has. But for those holiday makers, they went on a holiday to Spain for a couple of weeks thinking it was going to be fine. The government have changed the goal posts, and like Spain is it's not on the travel list right now. You go there for 2 weeks and find out you're going to have to take 4 weeks off work. Well, let's see. Spain quarantine all to do with Brexit. I don't know. I don't know. So Spain is one thing, but there's the word going around that Europe in general, there's other countries in Europe where the rate of infection was going down, but now it seems to be going up again. So some say that Europe's on a second wave. Here back in the UK, things are very, very much back to normal. Okay, we've got to wear face masks and all that. Do you know something? I went into a petrol station. Well, no, a filling station. My car takes diesel. But I went into the filling station today. I filled up my tank of diesel, 50 something quid or whatever it was. And then I walked into the filling station. There was only one other person in the queue before me. Okay, quickly, got into the filling station, and while I'm standing there waiting to pay for my fuel, all of a sudden I realised I'd walked in there without my mask. I'd left my mask in the car, and you know what? I felt like a naughty schoolboy. I felt sort of guilty. Oh my god! I've walked in here without my mask. I'm not wearing my mask. The teacher is going to tell me off. I'm not wearing my mask. What a silly boy I am. Oh, Jesus. There are those who think that we're all being treated like children. But yeah, you gotta wear a mask now. Let's see. Come on, get out of here. Get out of here. Okay. Is it the second wave or the first one hasn't gone away yet? Well, I think the first one hasn't gone away. I think it's both of those things. Okay, so it's not looking good now. I mean, right now. Oh, by the way, Mr. Kojak, nice to hear from. Always nice to hear that name. Yeah, go suck a lollipop. I mean that in a nice way. Okay, strawberry flavored one. Okay. Now, you can see these videos, and some of the Thai vloggers who are in Thailand right now are making some great videos, and I'm really envious of them being there. And they're doing well. They're getting good viewing figures. You see people in the bars. I'm on this Facebook group right now, and I see people posting things on Facebook where they're having a laugh in the bars in Pattaya. Looks fantastic. I really wish it was there, but the smiles will soon go off the faces of many of those businesses, because those businesses need tourists. They need those tourists, and it's not looking good for anyone right now. Okay, who's got anything else? 169 people watching. It's a quiet little old Wednesday night. This is a spur of the moment thing. Andrew Johnson. Andrew Johnson, for what I hear, you may need quarantine, which is fine by me. Yeah, no, this is another subject, and I want to talk about this. We've got a bit more information of it. If you go out to Thailand and you're forced into 2 weeks quarantine, what does this entail exactly? You're going to have to stay in a hotel, a special quarantine hotel, which they will obviously choose for you. And, is it going to be a good value hotel? Are they going to deliberately pick a good value hotel for you? Somehow, I don't think so. I mentioned this on Facebook the other day, and somebody came with the figure for 2 weeks. The hotel would cost a minimum of 30,000 Thai baht, which I think if you work that over 2 weeks is about 750 quid. It's more than 50 quid a night for that hotel. But, that's it could easily cost more than that. I think then you've got your meals to consider and everything. We haven't got there yet. We haven't got to that situation. So maybe cross that bridge when we come to it. Andy Johnson, designated hotel from £800 upwards. Well, that's more than I'd expect to pay in Thailand for the first 2 weeks. Okay, so bit of news this last couple of days. Vietnam, which was being held up as a shining example, very few COVID cases. How many deaths of Vietnam? I think, am I right in saying that there's hardly any reported? All of a sudden, Da Nang is evacuated. I believe it's 8,000 people, because there was a handful of COVID cases a couple of days ago, and now there's about 34, and apparently it's more serious. So all of a sudden, no, you can look at it in a couple of ways. Vietnam it's terrible like that. Vietnam all of a sudden has this spike in COVID, but maybe the good thing about it is that they are very, very quick to react to it, evacuating all of these people. Andrew Johnson, yet Da Nang is in lockdown right now. I was in Da Nang a few months ago, and it's terrible to think that this place where there doesn't seem to be a problem in the world, all of a sudden, they're in lockdown. But maybe the Vietnamese have got on top of this very, very quickly. And maybe that explains why they have had so few cases there. They were held up as a shining example. They were held up as a shining example. But don't forget, Vietnam has had experience of having terrible flus before. They had the bird flu, the SARS, about 15, 17 years ago, whenever it was. So maybe they're quick to react because they don't want it happening again. Layer cake. Seen online that 2 weeks quarantine in a private hotel was $1,000 before your flight. Next to the accommodation becomes quite expensive. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But I would imagine not many people would be planning on going out to Thailand at this time of year anyway. You'll be looking more similar to the time that I'm planning on going out there, maybe November, December. So it's still fairly early to discuss the prices of what a quarantine hotel is likely to cost you. But I'm still not liking the sound of it. So Vietnam, I mean, I had this in my idea that if I arrive in Bangkok and it's not looking good, then maybe I could hang around the airport for however and maybe book a flight to Vietnam. But, you know, Vietnam's not out of the woods yet either. So it's, you know, it's not good. It's not a good situation. There's nothing to be cheerful about. The reason I'm doing this live stream, I mean, you know, I know there's a lot of people who are eager to go to, you know, to Asia to book flights right now, but it's not looking good. I was almost tempted to call this live stream the doom and gloom. Let's all speak a bit of doom and gloom. I mean, last week I was quite cheerful, but right now, all of a sudden, you know, a series of things. It's not looking good at all. What else is there? Oh yeah, somebody mentioned pussycats before. Jesus Christ, pussycats! Is this a whole new ball game? Is it? And I've got a confession to make, other than the fact that I've only got a little bottle of Scouser brandy. The other confession, I love pussycats. I love them. I love cats. You know, these beautiful fairy creatures. You know, because of my lifestyle, I can't have pets. But if I did, I'd have pussycats because they're beautiful, lovely, lovely creatures. You know, whenever I see a nice fairy pussycat, I can't resist stroking it. You know, I love stroking pussy. Okay, you know, it was on the news the other day that a cat in the UK is being infected with COVID. Apparently the owners had it, but they've recovered from it. But now the cat is tested positive for COVID. Oh, Jesus, this is all we need. This is all we need. Okay, now you may say, well, it's only one cat. Only one cat is tested positive. But wasn't there a time, you know, some months ago that only one human tested positive, and now there's many, there's a million of them or whatever. Where's this going to develop? Is it going to be one cat this week, two cats next week? You know what I mean? I love pussycats. I have a soft spot for pussycats, but Jesus, the next time I see a lovely fairy pussycat, rather than say, you know, come here, Tiddles, I want to stroke you. You know, I'm more likely to say, get away, you manky thing. You never know what the hell it's got. You know, it could be infected. Well, I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time I've been infected by a pussy. You know, but that's another story. Anyway, somebody super chatted. Who super chatted? Whoever that was who super chatted, a real thank you for you. I can't actually see who that was, but thanks anyway for that. Big Jim, nice to hear from you. Big Jim, nice to hear from you. Hope all's well in Liverpool. Eyes of Own is thinking about Mexico and Cancun for Christmas. Sounds good. Well, you know, Mexico now, a few well-known vloggers, I think, are going out to Mexico, or they're either there or talking about it. Mexico is well worth a visit. I've been there. Cancun I didn't like, but I like that resort about 100 miles away. What was it called? Playa del Carmen. That's the better one. But the fact is that, you know, Cancun is, Mexico, do you believe the figures there? They're allowing tourists in there. Mexico seems to be the one place where we can go and visit. But I seem to recall about a month ago that Mexico is not entirely telling the truth about their figures, you know, their COVID figures. You know, I've heard that there is, you know, a lot of it there. And in other Latin American countries, well, I think all of those developing countries, Brazil, maybe some of the African ones, you know, maybe some of the African ones. Yeah, I think it's just the tip of the iceberg right now. I still think they're going to explode. John S, come to Turkey, Eddie. All good here. I've seen enough of Turkey. Don't forget, I like a lot of the Turks. I had a property in Turkey for many years. You know, I got bored with it. I've had experience of owning a property abroad. Now, I must admit, I got a bit bored with it after a while. That's the truth of the matter. You know. Turkey's a beautiful, beautiful landscape, but the nightlife isn't up so much. It's not really the right place for me. The Turkish lira is very, very weak, which means it is still one of the good value places to go. But the last time I was there, you know, everything seemed to be cheap. Hotels seemed to be cheap. Food seems to be cheap. The one thing that wasn't cheap is beer. They whacked the price up to beer. I mean, last time I was in Turkey, in EDDY'S, which is close to where I owned an apartment for many years, you could get a lovely all-English breakfast with about 20 lira, which is, I can't even remember what that is in today's money, but it's very, very, very cheap, about 20 lira. But you buy 1 pint of beer to go with that, and that pint of beer costs as much as the meal. The pint of beer is also about 20 lira. You know, they're a bit opportunistic there, I'm afraid. Eddie, do you need to go to Western Supermare instead? Never actually had an ambition to go there, to be honest with you. Matt Frost, I've sacked Thailand off for next month, going to Greece and Lapland at Christmas. Well, season's greetings to you, you know. Going to Greece and Lapland. I don't know, you're not playing Father Christmas, are you? You're not the one who rides around in the sled, are you? Well, a lot of people, a lot of negativity here. I'm going to hold back until this eases up. Tranquil Thai was flooded yesterday. Well, maybe it was. This is out of season now in Pattaya and Thailand in general. It's not a time of the year when I'm generally out there anyway. But it's just right now at this moment in time. I think really everyone wants to know what is peak season going to be like, and can we get out there? It's not looking good for the flights. I don't know the latest situation. I've heard a few things that Thailand is suspending flights indefinitely until further notice. I don't know when further notice is. I really, really don't know. All I know is that they need those tourists. And the tourist season begins in May, in November, maybe the second half of November. But if they leave it too late, they're going to lose half of the peak season. I don't know, they could make up for it some of the time, I suppose. Okay. Let's see. Daniel Kelly. Okay, thank you, Daniel Kelly. Thanks for that. Yeah, not a bad haircut. Cheap, whatever. When you get to my age, I don't care. You see so many balded men. We've even got Mr. Kojak in the chat here. Greetings from Wavertree, yes. John S, 9 layers, that's Turkish lady, so 9 layers of the pound already. In a bar in Taurus here, it beer is 30 to 40 later. Jesus Christ. That is so opportune. And I bet you for 30 or 40 lira in Turkey, you could get a nice meal for 30 or 40 lira, but probably 1 pint of beer costs the same amount. They're a bit opportunistic, when it comes to the alcohol. Maybe they have this idea that British people drink lots of alcohol, so that's a way to make money. Yeah, okay. What do we got here? 14, I don't like the sound of this 14-day quarantine. My plan is to go to Southeast Asia for 4 months, from the beginning of November to the beginning of March. That's 4 months, which is it's about 17 or 18 weeks, which is a substantial amount. But I still, don't like the idea of spending the first couple of weeks locked up in some, hotel room somewhere. DJ23 like to go, wish I was stuck in Thailand. Don't think I'd ever come back. Well, I don't know. I was almost stuck in Thailand a few months ago. And, a few months ago, and I'm really glad to get out. Not the only one. At Bangkok airport, I was talking to a lot of other people who said that they were relieved to get. Nobody wants to be stranded. It may sound like a lot of fun or exciting or adventures, but I don't believe it is. It's not something I've ever thought about before. Okay, another super chat there. I keep missing these, but thanks to whoever's given the super chat to now. Appreciate that. Who's that? Ed, can you do a live stream for your local social club? I want to see the meat raffle and the 25-stone women dancing live. Oh, that'll frighten anyone away. Yeah, I suppose that would be quite interesting there. Oh, I wouldn't want to see it. Okay, Andrew Johnson, cheers for that anyway. Thanks for that. Always good to hear from you, mate. Andrew Johnson is, has also booked to go travelling later this year. I know, Andrew, that you were planning on going early this year. So it's you want to make up for lost time, and my thoughts are with you. I managed to get away early this year, but geez, I want to get away later this year as well. Mr. Mitch, my Facebook friend. How are you, Mr. Mitch? Thanks for that super chat. Really appreciate that. Hope all's well with you in Seattle. What's this? Daniel Mills, you'll have to stay the whole 4 months in Thailand. That's not the idea. I mean, this is all, this is all kind of new to me, what's happening now. It's new to all of us. But in the past, I've booked like 4 or 5, months a ticket to Bangkok. But then when I get to the airport, I explain to them, I'm not planning on staying there. I've never actually stayed there for more than 30 days at a time. I don't see the point because I like to hop back and forward between other countries. But, I don't know how that's going to work now. There's a lot of things right now which are, I don't think anyone, anyone really knows. Gary Shepherd, any regrets about coming back, or do you wish you'd stayed out there? No, I was relieved to get out there because, I don't want to be stranded anywhere. And it wouldn't have been a lot of fun. The last few months don't look like to be much fun in Thailand at all. And also the fact that you'd have to pay a visa. Obviously, a friend of mine was stranded in the Philippines for 3 months. He went out there in March for 3 weeks. And he ended up being stranded out there for 3 months. No one wants to be stranded. To be stranded in a country like that, good things come out because he's got a nice relationship out of it. But nobody wants to be stranded anywhere. The last few months I've come back here and I've come back here and I've worked and I've earned money and I'm doing exactly what I do every year. I come back from Southeast Asia around about April. I work for about 5 months. September, I usually go to maybe a European destination or whatever. Later on, I'll head out to Asia. This is what I've done for many, many years. It may seem a strange lifestyle to many people, but this is what I've done, and I enjoy it. That's the lifestyle that I feel comfortable with. Let me tell you something. I've been doing this kind of lifestyle, not all of 6 months. That's about the last 10 years. But before that, I was going away for to begin with weeks and then later months at a time. For the last 20 years since I started traveling seriously, I've never had a wasted year. The way I look at it, any crap that you have back in England or any boring lifestyle you have back in England, if during the course of any year you have spent months traveling to exotic locations, then that's not a wasted year. Even if you go for 3 months, if you have 3 great months traveling and have a crap 9 months back in the UK, it's still not a wasted year because there's many, many people who never get the chance to travel anywhere. And, they'll never experience what it's like to travel for months on end. So I haven't had a wasted year for about 20 years now. And I don't want one. I've already travelled a bit this year. I'm glad that I've done that. I had me fun. But the idea of being stuck here in the winter time, it makes me as miserable as sin. PHC, October earliest. Well, that'll do for me. What about December? No, that won't do for me because I'm planning on going beginning of November. Walking ATM, why would people want to get stranded in a foreign country during this time? Yeah, it probably is terrible. It probably is terrible. I wouldn't want to do that. Victor's, hi Eddie, I have 4 bottles of speckled hen looking at me. What should I do? Any advice? Well, I put 3 of them in the fridge, okay, to chill them and drink the other one. There. Okay. Oh. Andrew Johnson, I hear Cambodia are going to open their borders to some countries, UK not included, but they will allow the US. Well, I've heard various things about the $3,000. I've heard that somebody said they may be abandoning it because they realised it was going to be a recipe for disaster. I don't know. I just don't know right now at this moment in time. I wish I did. Brentel, yeah. Leia Kate. Oh yeah, but no, that's somebody's name. That is Layer Cake's a bloody good movie. I've seen that one. Good thriller. Right, go. They've been in Pattaya since March and loads of bars are open and you got the choice of the girls. Well, good for you, man. Good for you. Rub it in, why don't you? Oh, good for you, man. I hope you're happy out there. Midnight Charlie. No tourists to Thailand this year unless you're quarantined for 2 weeks and it's stung for a couple of grand. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. To St John waiting for the vaccines. So am I. Burrow and Bunny. Andrew Johnson, it will get better, Eddie. Well, I hope so. Let's keep thinking positive, Andrew. Let's keep thinking positive. I know that you're looking forward to going away. I am as well. Let's see. We'll have to see about it. Yes, I think Cambodia will open again soon, but when? Yeah, when you say soon, I mean it's a very vague word, soon, because I know I keep saying this. I know that I keep saying this. But I'll say it again. Around this time of year, this will be the low rainy season in those countries, and not many people will be going out there anyway. You only have to cast your mind back a year ago, and I remember lots and lots of videos on YouTube from Thailand, especially, where certain vloggers, were telling us that there was no tourists in Thailand this time last year, and the reason for it was because of the Thai baht going stronger and stronger. And becoming unaffordable. So the idea of not many tourists in Thailand right now is not that unusual, but I do think it's probably exceptionally bad now. I think the big question revolves around the peak season, which begins in these countries in November, and will the flights have resumed by then? Okay, what do we got? Okay, so we talked about the quarantine hotels, which that's unknown territory now. But yeah, my guess is if they're going to choose the hotel for you, they're not going to choose a bargain basement one. I believe it's got to be a special. I heard something about Airbnbs. Some Airbnbs that are being set up as, was quarantine hotels. Well, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know the script at that just yet. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. There's no point talking about, quarantine hotels right now or whatever. If it's not, if it's, they might well have abandoned that, for a few months' time, but we just don't know. JR, I went last September, Ed. It was dead. Yeah, it was. I turned up in Pattaya late last September, and around the Soiba Cow area, it always seems to be busy that area. Obviously, there's a strong, British expat community in that area. Even in late September, of a night time, there seems to be a lot of people around. But I think of a daytime, it was very, very quiet. Brentel, the Thai baht is looking good compared to a few months ago. I was thinking of buying some now and holding on to it, even after wait for 12 months. David Cook underneath that, 40 is terrible. Yeah, I've heard somebody else say that the Thai baht is going stronger now, but I agree with David Cook there. If the Thai baht is 40 to a pound, it's still terrible, compared to what it was. It's still fairly awful. Maybe because it was 38 or, a few months ago. I don't know. Nuno Vera, just a question for you, mate. Plan to go to Thailand in April now. Is the weather really bad by then? Kind of off season. Well, April, no, I've heard people saying that April is a very, very hot month. I always leave that part of the world at the beginning of April each year. So it's not a month that I do, but I think it may be the start of the rainy season then. But some people say it's one of the hottest months of the year. I've even heard some people saying that April, the heat can be quite unbearable. But that's the end of the dry season and the beginning of the rainy season. So I think it's just gambling really. Robert Williamson, okay, business people allowed, not tourists. SOS Chris, if Thailand is not open when you arrive in Bangkok, can you get a flight to another nearby country, an island, Lanka? Well, that's, if I ever done it, I've never had a scenario where I've turned up, you know, at a huge international airport after a long haul flight, somewhere like Bangkok, and they've said, you can't come in, you're not welcome. So then I've had to hang around this airport and rebook a flight to a neighbouring country. I've never ever had to do that. Never had to do it. There's a lot of things that you're going to have to do now, which none of us have ever done before. This is a... Andrew Johnson, there's a site, Eddie. There's some nice hotels for 800... Is that what was that? £800 for 2 weeks. You can get a choice. £800. It still seems, even for Bangkok, it still seems quite expensive. I could stay in Bangkok for 2 weeks, paying a lot, you know, a lot less than £800 for 2 weeks for the hotels. But then, I mean, you know, do they include the meals? And I don't know. I don't know. Ben Harrison, Thai baht will be 50 by the end of the year. Let's hope you're right. Ben Harrison, almost 41 today. Bob Stewart, 4,000 peso bar fine is sky high. Right now, paying double would be okay with me. Stuck in Angeles. I mean, right now, I'm not thinking about bar fines. I'm not sure. I think I'm not so sure how, you know, what people want to know at this moment in time, whether they want to know about, you know, travel. I mean, a lot of this is to be a YouTube travel vlogger. I think this is the worst year ever. What are the travel vloggers doing right now? There's those guys who are out in Thailand right now who are making very, very good videos. Good for them anyway. You know, it's nice to know that people are still out there, you know, making some, you know, great vlogs. The rest of us are outside looking in. There's a lot of vloggers you may be used to, who you know would not normally be in Thailand at this time of year anyway, but you look forward to when they go back out there late in the year. What's going to happen to them? Are they in the same boat as me, the same boat as all of us? And also some really, really big travel vloggers, I'm talking the mega ones who have, you know, a million subscribers or whatever. A lot of them are not really doing much, or if they are, they're probably in countries which they don't necessarily want to be in, or they're doing things that they don't want to do. I mean, you know, it's not a good year to be a travel vlogger at all, really. And also, I think that most people out there, you know, if you make videos about travel right now, what are you going to make? I mean, I'm not traveling right now. I'm trying to, you know, make a few videos, you know, to pass the time away. Some may be okay, and some may be a bit, you know, hit and miss. But you know, it's some maybe a bit hit and miss. But I don't know. I think we all just want to travel again. You know. I think we all just want to travel. Robert Williamson, Eddie, take care of yourself. Get back to town in Cambodia. May see you in Siam Reap. Siam Reap is a great little town. I really, really like Siam Reap. Bloody good town, Siam Reap. Well worth a visit. Love to go there again. Benhausen, Thailand third quarter will be horrendous. They will lose 80% of tourist money this year. I think all countries are going to lose tourist money. Maybe here in the UK, it may benefit us in a way, because you know, Spain is Britain's favourite holiday destination. You know, their weather is far more reliable than in the UK, and it's not that far away. So what's happened with the British tourists in Spain this week is fairly horrendous. You know, so Spain is going to lose out big time with the British people not being there. But the fact is, it may benefit Britain, because British people, these are school holidays at this time of year. British people may think, oh, to hell with it. It's too dodgy to leave the country. Let's just stay here. And it might benefit our economy in some way, because the weather isn't that bad at the moment. You know, people, you know, it would normally go abroad. They're just going to do a staycation and stay in boring old England. I mean, I wouldn't want to, but, you know. Steph Traveller is here. Okay, how are you, Steph? How are you, Steph? Pattaya will be a ghost town this year. Also, the first quarter of 2021. What is that? We have to see the facts. What is the facts, Steph? What is the facts about us travelling and Thailand reopening and all those other countries reopening? I don't think there are any facts right now. Nobody knows anything. No one knows anything. All I know is that the reason I'm doing this little vlog here is that it's really doom and gloom right now. It's doom and gloom. I mean, the last couple of weeks, I was watching videos on YouTube. You probably were watching the same ones of people in bars in Pattaya and other places. Get up. Bloody Google sending me messages. All of a sudden, they're sending me messages on the screen. It's that thing where Google listens to what you say, and then all of a sudden they're listening into your conversation. You know, the other day I said you know, I had my phone in my hand, and I said hello to somebody. This person said hello back. And all of a sudden, Google comes out and says, hello, hello is a greeting. When you see someone, you say, oh, bloody, you know this. I better not be derogatory towards Google because they'll, you know, come on and, you know, and don't be very polite with me. In Bonnie, I stay Koh San Road area for cheap single rooms. I've never been there. Never ever been there. Not heard good reviews. I've had some really negative reviews about Koh San Road. Andy Jones agreed that the meals included and travel expenses. We've got to have a look at what all this quarantine entails. I was looking at it the other day, but I don't think there's enough information on it right now, really, to actually, you know, discuss it at length. It's I think it's just a matter of just seeing what happened. Walking ATM, the Pattaya bars look so boring now from the videos. Jesus, I tell you what I have noticed in some of those Pattaya videos that I've seen. You go into the bars and those girls are there and they're wearing those plastic visors. Oh my God, that looks awful. Are they going to do that when they give you the dirty massage? Are they going to be wearing them? Oh my God, that looks awful. That looks terrible. Jeez, it looks so clinical. It's like, I mean, if I was to go into a massage parlor, and some glamorous girl was wearing one of those plastic visors, you know, I wouldn't feel like I was going in there for a dirty massage. I'd feel like I was going to the dentist or, oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. The word brewer's droop comes to mind. How the hell am I going to rise to the occasion then? Okay. DJ23 likes the goals. At the moment, they look more exciting than pubs in the UK. Do you know something? I'm glad you mentioned the pubs in the UK, because even though I like a drink myself, I'm not really sure that I like the idea of some of the unscrupulous pubs who just serve alcohol, you know, willy-nilly and get people as drunk as they want, reopen again. Because the fact is, what the government is realising is that alcohol and social distancing don't mix very well. I mean, you try telling Mickey the drunk that he's got to stand 2 meters away from Joey the drunk and see how that pans out. You can't tell drunken people anything. There's a pub close to where I live, right? And when the lockdown was eased and pubs were allowed to reopen, I think it was about 3 weeks. It was on a Saturday. It was about 3 weeks ago. Yeah, it was about 3 weeks. There's one pub where the landlord is very, very irresponsible. He gets as pissed as his customers. He's one of the lads. He gets drunk and they get drunk, and they're all, like, you know, they're all lads together. So, you know, the lockdown, all these pubs were closed, and on the Saturday daytime, the pubs were allowed to open, and they allowed this one to open, and all of a sudden it was like Christmas had come. You know. The pubs are open again. Let's get out there and celebrate. This pub everyone got wasted in a pub. They were all drunk. The virus is gone. It's over now. The nightmare is over. The pub is open again. Let's all get pissed and act like drunks are supposed to act. And that's exactly what they did. They were lady outside the pub. They were hugging each other. They were getting drunk. They were falling over. The landlord himself was falling over as well. Who cares? The nightmare's over. Our pub is open again. And what this landlord did, he was in such good spirits to see his pub open again that, you know, during the course of the evening, when it was all rocking and rolling in there and everyone was drunk and merry, he left the pub. He went to another pub a few doors down to see how the competition was doing. And he went in that pub, you know, and had a couple of beers and, you know, boasted, you know, about how his own pub, all the old customers were back and it was packed and everyone was merry and having a great time and everyone was actually thrilled that all the pubs are open again. And after an hour, this landlord went back to his own pub, only to find that during the hour that he was away, the police had raided it and closed it down. Serves him bloody right. Jesus Christ. But that was clever of him, wasn't it? I think his pub lasted, what was it, about, from his opening time to when the police closed it down, a total of about 6 or 7 hours. And now apparently he's up in court now, you know, for being reckless. Oh, Jesus Christ. No, I don't think it was a good idea to open the pubs here. I really don't. Maybe drunks in other parts of the world are responsible, but British ones are not. Except for me, of course. Okay, another Scouser brandy. Right, I've waffled on a bit now. Another little Scouser brandy here. I'm going to wrap this up a little bit. This is the doom and gloom live stream. It's not a cheerful one. The last few weeks, anyone who's seen my live streams know I've been very, very cheerful. I've been, you know, I've drunk and I've been merry, and I felt very, very positive about my flight, which is booked for the beginning of November. Can't wait, counting down the weeks and all of that. But in the last week, things are not so positive, are they? All these things, you know, we've got Spain, you know. The word is that Europe is close to a second wave. Certain cities in the UK are close to a second wave, about to be locked down again. People were told they can go to Spain, not a problem, and now they're told that there is a problem. Jesus, the idea that we could have the word honestly, I've heard so many people the last few days saying that a second wave of this virus is almost inevitable here in the UK. And if we do get a second wave, well, all those countries like Thailand and other countries will be looking at us, and we will become a very, very high risk. And it will be the final nail in the coffin of any of us who think that we're going to be going there this year, you know, before the year is over. Okay. Buddy, if Thailand were closed down, I had to have a trip in Africa, but all the countries are closed down at the moment. Lots of trips. Africa's going to have a. Africa is my only experience in Africa is Ethiopia, which was a fascinating experience. But I don't know. I just think it's going to explode in those countries. You know, I've never actually made it to South Africa. Never actually made to South Africa. I believe it's a great country to visit, but apparently it's getting really bad there. And are they releasing the correct, truthful figures from those countries? Maybe it's a lot worse than what they're saying it is. Paulie Gooden, good day. I'd completely deserted Nansley City still. All bars closed for a long time to come. Many bars, permanently owners are pissed out and left unpaid bills. Yeah. Well, I've been to Angeles City. Yeah, sure. A lot of those bars are going to close. You know, dear old Pattaya, which many of you and I know and love. They will suffer at this moment in time, but come the peak season, they badly need that peak season. They really do need that peak season. You know, if they don't get it, a lot of those bars are going to go out of business. Okay, so let me see now. Stavros Hugo, soy dogs lives matter. Good for you, mate. Butter and Bunny, Thailand's my favourite country. I wouldn't disagree with that. It's a great place. Okay, Tintin is here, the great traveller. Tintin. Tintin, you could be worse, Eddie. You could be locked up in Australia. Well, I'm hearing this kind of stuff from Australia. Apparently, their lockdown is a lot more strict than ours here, and I've heard from Australian people that there's no chance of them traveling there until next year. So my thoughts are with you. I know there's a lot of Australian people who watch this channel. I'm familiar with some of your names. I raise a glass here. My thoughts are with you. I hope everything works out well. I've met many really good Australians on my travels. Some of them who recognise me from YouTube. Let's see. Roy Gold, Gambia is great to visit, but you need a local guide. My friend went to Gambia. I've heard that Gambia is not just for dirty old women who like the big hunky local men, although I'm pretty sure like that goes on there. But I've heard that there are some really hot ladies in Gambia. Sorry, I have to rub my eyes a moment. Oh, heavens above. I've heard there's some really, really hot ladies on the spur in Gambia. Could be worth a visit, but I'm not too sure about African countries. I'm just not so sure right now. I think they are going to be higher risk than anywhere. And another of my favourite old countries, Brazil, is already one of the worst hit countries for this virus. And I don't think that's going to get better anytime soon. I really don't. Robert Williamson, lovely to hear from you. Listen, I'm going to wrap this up soon anyway. Usually I'd like to stay a little bit longer. Usually I do stay longer because I'm usually really cheerful, but this is a bit bit doom and gloom right now. This is a doom and gloom week. I hope I haven't depressed everybody. I was thinking positive the last few weeks, but this time not so positive. This time not so. So I mean, I don't just travel to Southeast Asia. I like to travel to other places. Usually I follow the weather. Southeast Asia comes maybe later in the year, but for a month like September, I'd normally go to a European destination. Where was the last one I went? Last year. Where the hell did I go? Shows how memorable it was. Krakow in Poland. I went there to stag do, and we stayed a little bit longer than normal. And Krakow was okay, but at my age, I can't see European destinations appealing to me very much. I mean, I don't know if people watching this will be interested in European. Usually, I'd go away around September to anywhere between Turkey and Spain or maybe another European destination. I love Europe. Europe's a fantastic continent. And in a month like September, they usually have a great climate there. But Europe, I think I've been there and done that. I think Krakow last year sort of killed it for me. Even though Krakow, the centre of Krakow, I should say, was very, very nice and it was good value, much better value than other European places. What's in it? What's in it? What's in it really? I mean, it's beautiful buildings and churches and all that. I've seen all of that stuff, and I'm not even sure that people who watch this YouTube channel would be interested in that sort of stuff. Could be possible maybe for September to get to another European destination, but I'm not so sure. I don't really have a great deal of enthusiasm for Europe right now. I've been there and done that. It's it's a terrific place, but I can't really. I think I'll give it a miss this year. Andrew Johnson, take care. Back to work. Okay, Andrew. Yeah, well, we'll be Facebook friends, Andrew. Anyway, it'd be great to hear from you. Anyway, mate. Okay, look after yourself, and I'll catch up with you soon. Anyway. Okay, DJ 2021 is going to be epic. Peter Mac, Thailand's not happening this year for your average Farang. Okay, Butter and Bunny, your live vlog gives us all a lift, Ed. We really appreciate it. It comes a very welcome surprise this evening. Okay, thank you, Butter and Bunny. Have I met you, Butter and Bunny, in a bar in Port? I believe I have. But I was confusing with someone else who's got a similar sounding name. But yeah, well, thanks for that comment. I really appreciate that. You know, like I said a moment ago, if anyone's seen any of the vlogs, the live streams I've done last few weeks since I booked my flight to Bangkok, you know, I've been quite positive and I've been quite cheerful. And then I watched YouTube videos and heard reports of things that are opening in Thailand and other places. And, you know, I've been really, really positive and uplifted. But all of a sudden, this week, the wind has changed, hasn't it? You know, and things are starting to look a bit negative again. Listen, I'm going to leave it at that. Yeah, a few more, just a few more comments. Well, bloody good stuff. That's Scouser brandy. Okay. SOS Chris, have you ever been to Sri Lanka? No, never actually made it there. I've heard very good reviews of that. I travelled through India once, which had its good and bad points. You know, I had a bit of the old Delhi belly. That bit was super. I've heard really good reports about Sri Lanka. I think if you really like elephants, it's a good place. Paul Gunn, yeah. Okay, thanks for that. Tucson John, is there good entertainment for men in Krakow? It's not really that kind of place, which is probably why I wasn't that enthusiastic about it. It's a beautiful place, and if you were a group of lads, I was on a stag do at the time, Krakow was very good. And in the month, I think it was right at the end of August to beginning of September, I went there, and the weather was fantastic. It was beautiful. And you do see a lot of beautiful Polish girls around in Krakow. But I've heard if you want them, you know, it's a high risk. It's a high risk sort of thing. I wouldn't trust a place like that. It's not like Thailand. You just walk into a bar and these lovely ladies, you know, come on to you. It's not like that at all. I've heard not good reports. You can get ripped off very, very easily in a place like Krakow. And another thing to avoid are those bloody go-go bars. You know, you'll get these nice young people, boys and girls, approaching you on the streets of Krakow and the tourist areas. You like to go to a strip show, say, you know, whatever. They're not nice young people. They may appear to be nice young people. They're not. They are leading you into a tourist trap where you'll be stung for large amounts of money. So they're not nice people at all. You know, I don't like that rip off. They got on my nerves after a while. I just ended up telling them just to go away. But on the stag do that I was on, there were some of the young fellas who were a bit reckless, and they got stung for hundreds of dollars. And what did they get for it? Not very much. No, I wouldn't recommend Krakow for if you're after the ladies. I really wouldn't. Oh, okay. Roy goes, they're saying Russia will have a vaccine in August. Do you believe what Russians say? sorry, any Russians out there? I'm sure you're nice people. Oh, Jesus Christ. David Gear, I love Siam Reap. Spent 2 months there in the surrounding area. Siam Reap is a great place. If you've never been there, go visit it. It's a lot of young backpacker types, but they're harmless enough. It's a good place. Okay. Anchor, yeah, okay. What is the name? Okay, I'm coming up. I've got about 1 more minute left before I reach the hour. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up very, very soon. I've waffled on a little bit. You know, it's waffled on a little bit. I know this has been a bit of doom and gloom, and I haven't been my usual cheerful self. But the reason I haven't been my usual cheerful self is because of what I've seen on the news, and I've seen the news report. It's not a time to be cheerful. It's a time to keep thinking positive. You know, drink a bit of Scouser brandy. I'd highly recommend it. Who is it? Come on, who is it who's buying up all the big bottles? God, there's someone out there who's buying the big bottles. I just find it difficult to get hold of them. I want to settle for a little one. Bloody good stuff. Listen, guys, keep thinking positive. I know there's a lot of people who are in the same boat as me. a lot of fellow travel vloggers are in the same boat as me. We all want to know when we can start traveling again and if it's going to be all right. At the end of the day, we don't really know anything at this moment in time. With regards to the facts about how it's going, there are no facts. There's no facts at all. There's no facts at all. We just got to keep thinking positive, be hopeful, and see what happens, okay? I personally don't want to be stuck in England this winter time because I'd consider that to be miserable, a failure. I don't want to be stuck in it. I'm working every day right now, earning money so that I can go abroad. I mean, at the end of the day, when you work hard over a period of time, you work for a purpose because I'm thinking of my traveling, my reward at the end of it. And, at the end of the day, if I can't go away this winter time, then I'm doing all this hard work for not much, really. Okay, listen, thanks, guys. Keep thinking positive. It's great having your company this last hour. I'll be back with other live streams. Maybe think about doing a different format of live stream or whatever. But it's good to talk, because we're all in the same boat together. Listen, keep thinking positive. Let's be hopeful for the future. And cheers. See you soon.